They tried to stop him. They tried to silence him. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré refuses to back down. Burkina Faso is making history under Traoré's leadership. The country has just launched its first ever electric car, a groundbreaking step toward industrialization, economic sovereignty, and energy independence. But this bold move has sent shockwaves through the old colonial powers, and now the threats against him are growing. For years, Africa has been forced into economic dependence. Western nations ensured that raw materials were extracted from African soil, sent abroad for processing, and then sold back to African countries at exorbitant prices. This cycle has kept African nations poor while foreign corporations thrive. But something is changing. A new Africa is rising. Chapter 1. The rise of Africa's EV revolution. For decades, electric cars have been a symbol of technological progress, futuristic mobility, and sustainability. Yet, whenever the discussion of EV leadership comes up, the usual names dominate: Tesla in the United States, Volkswagen in Germany, BYD and NIO in China. Africa has rarely been part of that conversation. The assumption has always been that the continent lacks the industrialization, supply chains, and financial resources needed to compete in the high-tech automotive space. But Burkina Faso just shattered that outdated belief. This is not an imported vehicle with minor modifications. This is a fully homegrown creation, developed by Burkinabe engineers and tailored for the realities of African roads. It is built with Africa's unique driving conditions in mind, designed to meet the specific needs of local drivers. And that's what makes it so groundbreaking. But beyond the car itself, this achievement signals something much bigger. It's about economic independence. For too long, African nations have relied on expensive imports to move forward. They've depended on Western and Asian companies to supply their vehicles, often at high costs that make car ownership unattainable for many. But Burkina Faso's success challenges that status quo. It proves that African nations can lead in high-tech industries rather than just consume what others produce. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has taken an entirely different approach from the usual African leadership playbook. While many heads of state are busy upgrading their fleets with the latest 2025 luxury vehicles, Traoré is focused on something far more meaningful: building his nation's future from the ground up. And nothing exemplifies this commitment more than the unveiling of Burkina Faso's first locally assembled electric vehicle, the Idua. Chapter 2. A game changer for Africa. Burkina Faso's Idua isn't just another electric vehicle, it's a technological breakthrough specifically designed to meet the country's needs. Unlike conventional electric cars that rely on charging stations tied to national power grids, the Idua is 100% solar-powered. Given Burkina Faso's abundant sunshine, this makes perfect sense. The reliance on solar energy ensures that drivers won't have to worry about erratic electricity supply, one of the main barriers to electric vehicle adoption in many parts of Africa. And then there's the efficiency factor. While most electric cars require hours to charge, the Idua boasts a rapid charging capability, just 30 minutes for a full charge, and an impressive range of 330 kilometers. This level of performance rivals some of the best electric cars in the world. But what makes it truly revolutionary is that it is assembled in Burkina Faso, by Burkinabe hands. The company sourced materials from African suppliers whenever possible, ensuring that the production process supported local industries rather than relying entirely on imported components. Unlike most EVs on the market, which are designed for Western and Asian road conditions, Idaua's car was built specifically to handle the unique challenges of African roads, whether it's unpaved paths, extreme heat, or long distances between charging stations. One of the biggest challenges with EVs in Africa is battery efficiency. Given the continent's high temperatures, Itaoua engineered battery technology that performs well in West Africa's climate, ensuring that the vehicle remains practical for daily use. The production of the Itaoua is taking place at a facility in Ouaga 2000, an area that is quickly becoming the industrial heartbeat of Burkina Faso. But this isn't just about assembling cars. It's about building an entirely new industrial ecosystem. The establishment of this plant means thousands of new jobs, an economic boost for the nation, and a strong foundation for future technological advancements. For decades, African economies have been heavily reliant on raw material exports, only to buy back finished products at exorbitant prices. The ITUA project disrupts that cycle, proving that local value addition is not only possible but necessary. It's a bold step towards economic independence, one that other African nations would do well to follow. Chapter 3. Leadership through action, not words. African citizens have grown weary of leaders who make grand promises but never follow through. Decades of empty rhetoric have left many skeptical of change, but Captain Ibrahim Traoré is proving that real transformation doesn't need endless press conferences. It needs action. During his New Year's Eve address, Traoré revealed something that caught many by surprise. Several factories had already been established in Burkina Faso without any public announcement. This level of quiet efficiency is rare in politics, especially in Africa, where leaders often seek validation for every minor achievement. But Traoré isn't interested in applause. He's interested in results. His announcement that even more factories will be built this year was initially met with skepticism. But then came the unveiling of the ITUA, and suddenly, his words carried undeniable weight. In a continent where development projects often take years, if they ever materialize at all, Traoré's rapid progress is setting a new standard for governance. Chapter 4. A leader who rejects extravagance. Perhaps the most striking contrast between Captain Traoré and many other African leaders is his personal rejection of luxury and excess. While many heads of state travel in private jets, live in extravagant palaces, and drive imported luxury cars, Traoré remains grounded, both figuratively and literally. Since assuming power, he has continued to use the same military pickup truck, a stark reminder of his commitment to humility and service. With the successful launch of the ITUA, it wouldn't be surprising to see him driving one soon, a move that would further reinforce his lead-by-example approach. This isn't just symbolic, it's a powerful message that leadership is about service, not self-indulgence. The rise of Burkina Faso as an emerging player in the electric vehicle industry is not just an economic achievement, it's a geopolitical statement. For years, Western nations have strategically ensured that African countries remain dependent on them for manufactured goods, loans, and aid programs. The idea of an independent, self-sufficient Africa is not one they actively promote. By proving that Burkina Faso can develop its own industries, Captain Traoré is directly challenging the neo-colonial economic model that has kept Africa in a perpetual state of dependence. The ITUA is more than just a car. It's a disruption to a system that was never designed for African self-sufficiency. Western economies have long benefited from Africa's role as a consumer rather than a producer. They provide loans, set up aid programs, and make grand development pledges, but they rarely encourage true industrial independence. The fact that Burkina Faso is moving forward without waiting for foreign approval or assistance is exactly why this development is making waves. Chapter 5. A long-term vision, not a one-time success. Africa has seen many technological breakthroughs, exciting inventions, successful startups, but very few of these achievements have transformed into large-scale, long-term industries. The challenge has never been innovation, it's been scaling up and sustaining progress. So will Burkina Faso's electric vehicle be just another headline? Or is it the start of something much bigger? Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the Burkinabe government has made it clear that this is not a publicity stunt. This electric car is part of a broader vision for economic independence and industrial transformation. The government is already laying the groundwork for mass production, ensuring that future vehicles remain affordable and not dependent on expensive imports. Plans are in place to develop a local supply chain for EV components, ensuring long-term sustainability, train engineers and workers, creating jobs and building a skilled workforce, expand production capacity, moving from prototype to large-scale manufacturing. Invest in charging infrastructure, making electric mobility accessible across the country. If successful, this could completely transform Burkina Faso's economy. Like many African nations, Burkina Faso spends a significant amount of money importing vehicles. If even a fraction of that money stays within the country through local production, it could be redirected toward infrastructure, education, and healthcare rather than flowing into the hands of foreign automakers. Burkina Faso's success is already influencing other African nations. Countries like Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa have long discussed developing their own EV industries, but have hesitated due to the high costs and reliance on foreign supply chains. This breakthrough proves that African nations don't have to wait for Western or Chinese companies to take the lead. The question now is whether other African governments will follow Burkina Faso's lead and push for their own local EV industries. If they do, the continent could see the birth of a Pan-African automotive movement, one that reduces reliance on imports and puts African nations at the forefront of sustainable mobility. Chapter 6. Can Burkina Faso's EV compete with Tesla and the global giants? Whenever an African country makes a bold move in technology, skepticism follows. Many will ask, how can Burkina Faso, with no prior experience in automobile manufacturing, compete with the likes of Tesla, Volkswagen, and BYD? These companies have spent billions on research and development. They have advanced global supply chains, massive production facilities, and decades of brand loyalty. Burkina Faso, in comparison, is a new player in the automotive world. But here's the thing. Competing with Tesla doesn't mean copying Tesla. Burkina Faso's ITAE electric car isn't trying to be a luxury vehicle with self-driving features and AI-powered interfaces. It is designed to be practical, durable, and affordable, specifically built for African consumers. And that's exactly why it could succeed. Most EVs on the global market are designed for Western and Asian road conditions, smooth highways, frequent charging stations, and well-developed service networks. But many parts of Africa, especially rural areas, lack these conveniences. Roads can be rough, long distances between cities make charging a challenge, and imported EVs are often too expensive for the average citizen. This is where Burkina Faso's ITAE electric car has a major advantage. It is designed to handle rough, unpaved roads that would damage most standard EVs, unlike luxury EVs built for wealthy buyers. This vehicle is meant to be accessible to everyday drivers, lower costs, and easier access to spare parts and repairs. Chapter 7. Could Burkina Faso become a leader in Africa's EV market? If Burkina Faso can scale up production, maintain affordability, and develop a charging infrastructure that fits Africa's unique energy landscape, the ITAOUA car could become a major player in the African EV market. And if that happens, it won't just benefit Burkina Faso, it could spark an electric vehicle revolution across the continent. For too long, Africa has been treated as a consumer market rather than a producer. The continent imports billions of dollars worth of goods every year, while exporting mostly raw materials. Vehicles, in particular, are one of Africa's biggest economic drains. Most cars on African roads are imported, often secondhand, from Western and Asian countries. But what if Africa flipped the script? Burkina Faso's locally made electric car is proof that this is possible. It shows that African nations don't have to wait for Western or Chinese automakers to bring technology to them. They can develop their own industries, build their own technology, and take control of their own economic future. Beyond the economic benefits, there's also a huge environmental advantage. Africa is one of the regions most affected by climate change. Yet most of its vehicles run on fossil fuels, contributing to pollution and reliance on oil imports. A shift to electric mobility, powered by renewable energy, could transform Africa's environmental future. Burkina Faso's solar-powered EV infrastructure model could be replicated across the continent, making clean transportation a reality for millions. Burkina Faso is proving that Africa does not need to be dependent. It can be self-sufficient, innovative, and powerful. But the forces that have long benefited from Africa's exploitation will not let go easily. The fight is far from over, yet. If Traoré's trajectory continues, Burkina Faso could become a blueprint for a truly independent Africa. This isn't just a story about Burkina Faso. This is about all of us, about a world where Africa is no longer seen as a resource colony, but as a global leader in innovation and independence. If you believe in this movement, if you believe Africa deserves to control its own future, then don't stay silent. Like this video, subscribe, comment below, and share your thoughts. The world is watching. The revolution is here.